Hi, I'm Madonna, and I'm going to go through the basics of self-muscle testing this morning. So to start with, what is muscle testing? Muscle testing uses kinesiology processes, so you're testing an individual strength response in your muscle to see whether something locks or unlocks. Now, as a general rule, you need to be clear about your muscle test so that your body knows what you're asking. If you're asking a waffly question, you're going to get a waffly answer as your muscle test. So for example, let me start with, there's several different ways you can self-muscle test. You can use the anterior deltoid. So that would be a muscle test where you're lifting your body up and you're pushing down and you're waiting for either a lock or an unlock. So you would end up finding a self-response where your body can go, oh, okay, that's an unlock. That means that it's giving me either a positive response to an answer. Once again, you need to be clear what your question is, but we'll get into that. You can also do muscle testing through the center of your fingers. So basically you can ask for a lock or ask for an unlock. An unlock means that there's something energetically out of balance. But once again, it can be the answer to a yes-no question as well. You can also use one where you're actually testing the strength of a muscle in your finger and ask for a lock and ask for an unlock. Ask for a lock and ask for an unlock. And that's what I tend to tell my students to do initially. Just say the words. Ask for a lock, ask for an unlock. Ask for a lock, ask for an unlock. So you will start to get the feeling of something that is either a lock or an unlock, because when you first start doing it, it's really weird. My preferred finger one is actually testing like this. So I'm going up, so I'm testing like that with my fingers. So that's a lock, that's an unlock. That's a lock, that's an unlock. So for me, because part of my brain is skeptical about this process, I actually like to have a really strong lock and a strong unlock, even though it actually takes more energy to do that than it does for this one. Ask for a lock, ask for an unlock, which is just as valid a muscle test. And same with this one, asking for a lock, asking for an unlock. So when I am personally doing muscle testing on myself, I will always use this one because it's very quick, it's dynamic, and I can very quickly find a lock and an unlock. So for example, I could ask the body what supplements. So I'm a naturopath, so I've been a naturopath kinesiologist for 23 years. So for me personally, if I've got an array of 15 supplements and I'm wondering what supplements I'm going to take in the morning or at night time, or to get me through a holiday if I'm worried about catching an infection on a boat, or if I'm going to an area of the world where there's lots of malaria or gut infections, I might actually muscle test which supplements are going to help my immune system and my gut so that I can just stay on top of these things before health becomes an issue. So, and I know many of us get confused with what sort of foods should I eat, or what sort of supplements should I take, or should I start asking the doctor to reduce my medications or changing my medications? I know people with, say, thyroid issues. You know, the difference in that thyroid medication can be the difference, but you know, like just being out of fraction can be the difference between feeling depressed and constipated and fat. You know, which is it? Is it the fact that we're depressed, or is it the fact that the thyroid medication isn't quite enough? Or is it the fact that we're putting on weight because we're not exercising as much as we should? Or is it because the medication isn't quite doing what it should be doing? So that's my little quick muscle test for today. So once again, you can just start playing around with it. So for example, use your name. So my name's Madonna, of course. So if I say my name is Madonna and then I throw out another name, my name is Bob, Bob is an unlock. My name is Sarah, my name is Blaze, my name is Madonna, and I get a lock again. So once you start playing around with it, you'll start to feel the locks and the unlocks. Another thing, so there's been a few videos recently with Sanu and we were on the radio last week chatting about energy. So one of the things Sanu likes to do, because she's an empath, I'm not, and if I am, I'm not aware of it, but One of the things about being an empath is that we can take on other people's emotional gear. I'm sure there's a whole learning process involved in being an empath and taking on other people's stuff. But if someone is an empath, it means you might be getting a heart rate that's far beyond your normal heart rate, or you might be feeling anxious or depressed. You might be having tummy issues. You might, feel sick in the tummy or be getting a headache. So if you're an empath, is this your stuff? So one of the things that Sanu likes to do regularly, once again, give me a lock, give me an unlock. So I would actually, for me personally, what I like to do is say it to my brain what I'm actually muscle testing. So I would say, and this isn't happening in my, actually, I'll just ask. So give me an unlock, give me a lock. Give me an unlock if I'm taking on anyone else's emotional stuff at the moment. And that's a lock. So I'm not getting an unlock at the moment. So if I think about a time a few weeks ago, there was a lot of stress going on and I was feeling quite anxious. I was feeling sick in my tummy. Once again, might have been mine or it might have been someone else's. So once again, only give me an unlock if some of those symptoms were not mine or some of that emotional gear wasn't mine at the time. That's interesting. That's an unlock. So at the time a few weeks ago when I was going through some real big stuff, some of it wasn't mine. Now, don't get me wrong, I was going through some stuff and I needed support. So just sort of thought I'd throw that out there. So my main ways for people to start playing around with doing self-muscle testing are the anterior deltoid. So once again, you sort of want to put your hand above your thigh, lift it up, not too high, and then just ask for a lock, ask for an unlock. Ask for a lock, ask for an unlock. So, and you can actually say the words, give me a lock, give me an unlock. Your body knows what it's doing. So once again, there's a trust involved with it, or you can use the deltoid muscle, but that's a little bit harder on yourself. But you can actually even just test it here. Give me a lock, give me an unlock. Give me a lock, give me an unlock. So the deltoid is something. Or you could actually have someone else test your deltoid while you're holding a supplement or a food or a product and see whether or not, once again, you have to have it set up in your mind what your intention is. If your intention is for an unlock to be bad, that's different than if your intention is just to find an answer. What's the answer you're looking for? Is it detrimental? Is it healthy for you? You know, what is it we're after? Like, for example, when I'm checking my supplements, I will actually be asking for an unlock with each supplement I'm after. Because for me, once again, if I'm looking for a lock and looking for an unlock, it means I can quickly go over my supplements one by one by one by one and feel whether or not it's a lock or an unlock. And it's when there's an unlock that I grab that supplement, I put it down in front of me, and then I continue, because I've got like 20 supplements in my medicine cabinet upstairs. So for me, because I run a very busy clinic and we have lots of things going on in our life, I've got a whole bunch of combinations of things like magnesium and potassium and herbs that help with relaxing and herbs that help with resilience and things like kava and passion flower, valerian, all sorts of bits and pieces. So I sort of like to have an array of supplements, and it changes all the time for me. So that's why I love self-muscle testing, and I hope you've enjoyed this, and I hope you start to have a bit of a play with it. Have a great day.